Today we're talking about a high-ranking Vatican cardinal being sentenced for financial crimes, millionaires are collecting unemployment checks because they're, quote, jobless, and a woman is being charged with a federal crime because she had a miscarriage. All in today's episode of What's up, Internet? I hope you're having a great weekend. We're testing out a new schedule this week, so hello Sunday crowd. Nice to meet you. Now, before we dive in, don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss any news updates, and if you're liking what you see, maybe stick around to the end of the video. Help get us that much closer to YouTube partner. I both love and appreciate you for that. Now, Alice, what's first?
Today's first story involves a significant verdict from the Vatican court. Cardinal Angelo Becciu has been sentenced to 5.5 years in prison for financial crimes. This marks a historic moment in the Catholic Church, as Becciu is the highest-ranking official to face such a conviction by the Vatican court.
Okay, so Cardinal Angelo Becciu, a man who once whispered in the Pope's ear, is now facing the music for some shady financial moves. We're talking about a high-stakes game involving a luxury property in London, and it seems our cardinal friend was playing fast and loose with some Vatican cash. This bout with fancy real estate, as you know, isn't a one-off. It's just another chapter in the saga of embezzlement, fraud, and abuse of office, which, mind you, is in no way unique to the Church. Duh. The Vatican has found itself navigating the murky waters of real estate investment, and unfortunate for them, it backfired. The proposed deal went south, and the Vatican's bank account took a heavenly hit. The prosecutors wanted Becciu behind bars for over 7 years, but the court handed down a 5.5-year sentence. And true to the script of any legal drama, Becciu's team is already gearing up for an appeal. It's like the Vatican's version of Law & Order, but with more incense and holy water. Okay, so first off, the fact that a cardinal, and not just any cardinal, but a former top advisor to the Pope, got caught in some financial misconduct is nothing short of a red flag. It's like finding out your favorite uncle. You know, the one who always gives the best Christmas presents has been embezzling from the family business to pay for them this whole time. Now you may find yourself wondering, how is it that the Vatican, an institution that exists solely for moral teachings, got entangled in a shady real estate deal? The answer? I don't know, probably something about absolute power absolutely corrupting. Who exactly watches their money? I'm fascinated to know how deep this rabbit hole goes. Like, are there more cardinals and officials involved in similar shenanigans? Yes, most definitely. The answer is yes. It's like a holy game of whack-a-mole, but with bank statements and property deeds. And let's not forget, the Vatican isn't just a religious institution, it's a sovereign state. It's got its own bank and assets and everything. Having said that, the scandal could have implications far beyond the walls of Vatican City, sort of like finding a crack in the foundation of a centuries-old fortress. So what does this all mean to us and for us little people? Well, honestly, it really is just another peek behind the curtain of an elite institution, reminding us that these places are just made up of people. No matter what you may think, no matter how high the pedestal or big it is you put them on, people are running these places, and people are deeply, deeply flawed.
Up next, there is a new bipartisan bill that proposes to end unemployment benefits for millionaires. The legislation targets individuals with a net worth over $1 million.
Yeah, so millionaires? Yes, millionaires collect unemployment checks, if you didn't know. Yeah, so basically we live in some M. Night Shyamalan movie about Wall Street. Last year, about 15,000 millionaires pocketed over $200 million in unemployment benefits. That's right. While you and I were pitching pennies, getting boned by inflation, these millionaires have been cashing government checks, laughing all the way to the bank. And of course, we're not talking about chump change. On average, each millionaire snagged around $14,265 in total. That's more than tons of working class people earn in months of labor. I mean, we need to figure out some better way to monitor how government funds are being used and misused. Because remember, we're talking about the same system that saw billions of dollars in pandemic aid just go poof into thin air. We need to make sure that unemployment benefits and others alike are actually going to people who are struggling and need to make ends meet. You know, like this guy. Struggling? This channel isn't paying for itself yet, people. It's not even paying yet. Subscribe and like. My future depends on you. If you don't subscribe because of that, yeah, I said that. Now, in complete contrast to our jobless millionaires, we've got low-income families and people of color who are often navigating labyrinths to get a sliver of that government money. You know, anything to help out. But for years, we've kept up this narrative. And I mean years, like decades. Like my dad, and I'm sure my dad's dad. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. the myth of the welfare queen, a term unfairly slapped onto poor families and people of color. It's like they're being shamed for needing a helping hand, while simultaneously people use this narrative to actively try and strip them of said help. I mean, these folks are often facing a gauntlet of red tape, stigma, and scrutiny just to get benefits that barely keep the lights on. But here's the real irony of the situation. The real queens of the welfare system, it turns out they're the fucking millionaires. While everyday folks are jumping through hoops, these high rollers are playing the system like a fiddle. They're raking in unemployment benefits like it's bonus season in Wall Street. I don't know, really does raise some questions about the effectiveness of our social safety nets though, doesn't it?
The last thing we delve into today is a sensitive legal case from Warren, Ohio. Brittany Watts faces charges related to the handling of fetal remains following a miscarriage.
Alright, now Brittany Watts, a 33-year-old woman, finds herself in some hot legal water, but the circumstances to the case are anything but straightforward. Sadly, Watts had a miscarriage in her home at 22 weeks of pregnancy. The situation got worse once the police found the fetal remains in her toilet. Although the autopsy results proved that the fetus had already passed away prior to Miss Watts' miscarriage, she's still being charged. With what, you may ask? Felony abuse of a corpse. The prosecution's angle isn't about the death itself, but what happened post-miscarriage. The remains ending up in the toilet and Miss Watts' subsequent actions. Her defense argues that she's being unfairly demonized for a situation that sadly isn't all that uncommon, let alone not in her control. Watts went through a miscarriage, an event that's traumatic enough on its own, and now she's caught up in a legal storm that's putting her actions under a microscope. So I guess the lesson here, ladies, is be careful where you have a miscarriage, because if it's in the wrong place, whatever that's supposed to mean, you may find yourself a felon. But we're not here for me to talk at you. Well, sorta, I guess. I more want to have a conversation with you and really try to understand what others are thinking about the stuff I come by. But on that, we're gonna call it for today. Now, hit that like button and help spread the awareness. And until next time, stay weird, stay safe, and I'll see you later.